explain. Okay, from this what we have realized is that cause and effect is not possible if you believe in objective existence. You getting it? If the cause and effect is not possible, arising and ceasing makes no sense. If the arising and ceasing makes no sense, then the Four Noble Truths will not make sense. Four Noble Truths is grounded on the principle of the cause and effect. Four Noble Truths will not make sense. If the Four Noble Truths makes no sense, then the truth number 3 and 4, which is real dharma, makes no sense. If the real dharma makes no sense, then the practitioner of these two dharmas makes no sense. If there's no practitioner, then the people achieving these 4 fruits, fruit of Sri Mantra, then what are the 4 fruits? Fruit of one's returner, fruit of, no, don't tell me, don't make me say something. You say something, complete. Fruit of one's return, fruit of Sri Mantra. Don't just say one's returner. Fruit of one's returner, fruit of noble returner, and fruit of arahatship. Right? So these fruits will make no sense. If these 4 fruits make no sense, then the 4 abiders and the 4 enterers will make no sense. Then the 8 Sangha members will make no sense. If the Sangha members do not make sense, then the most refined version of Sangha member does not make sense, which is Buddha. Then the 3 jewels are contradicted, right? And on top of that, dharma, non-dharma makes no sense. Then all the conventionalities you have to reject the conventionality, you have to denigrate the conventionalities. Okay, this is how our Nigarjuna is turning the debate against them. Okay. So whereas if you're able to posit subjective existence, that things exist purely by the power of the subject. But the subject you see that there are 2 kinds. What are they? A subject there are 2 kinds. Ultimate analysis and a conventional analysis. Because there are 2 different subjects, there can be 2 different truths happening. 2 different truths. These truths is not from the object, it's because of the 2 different subjects. Because 2 different truths are there, then all phenomena can be deposited so easily without any contradiction. Right? Because the cause and effect is all operating where? In the conventional analysis, according to conventional analysis, ultimate analysis. Cause, effect, all these things are operating where? According to the conventional analysis. So, in the eyes of conventional analysis, everything operates, right? And in the eyes of the ultimate analysis, nothing operates. So this will stop this self-grasping ignorance. This will liberate you from suffering. And with the conventional analysis, you see that everything is operating where? On the subjective level. Subjective level, everything operates, not from the object. On the subjective level, everything is operating. So this will see the dependent origination, allows the dependent origination to operate. So by seeing dependent origination, all your good qualities will grow, right? By seeing emptiness, you see that all the negative emotions will dissolve. Okay.
Does this reasoning refute the thought that things can exist conventionally objective?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Stanza 8. The Buddha's teachings of the Dharma is based on 2 truths, the truth of conventional world and the ultimate truth. So, if you don't believe in these 2 truths on the basis of the 2 different analysis, then you have to accept everything objectively. If you accept everything objectively, cause effect cannot be accounted for. You're getting it, cause effect cannot be accounted for. How we can account for the cause and effect is only if you understand the 2 truths so well, which the Buddha taught. Stanza 9. Those who do not understand the distinction drawn between these 2 truths do not understand the Buddha's teachings of the profound suchness. You will not understand the Buddha's teaching of the ultimate truth. If you don't understand ultimate truth, then what happens? But then liberation is not possible, right? And if you don't understand the conventional truth which exists in the eyes of the conventional analysis, if you don't understand this, you cannot go to the ultimate truth. If you don't understand everything's coming just as a perception of the conventional analysis, then if you don't understand this, then you have to see whatever you see, you have to believe to be objectively real. Then, if you don't understand the conventional reality, you cannot see the emptiness of the objective existence. If you don't see the conventional truth, you cannot see the ultimate truth. If you cannot see the ultimate truth, you cannot be liberated from suffering. Okay. Stanza 10. Without dependence upon the convention, without understanding the conventional reality, the meaning of the ultimate cannot be expressed, cannot be understood. Without understanding the meaning of the ultimate, liberation is not achieved. Right? Without understanding the emptiness or ultimate reality, liberation is not possible. Why liberation is not possible? If you don't understand the ultimate reality, you see things, you continue to see things as objectively real. When you see things as objectively real, then you believe the dream as real. Like believing the dream to be real, then you're affected by the dream. Yes, no? When are you affected by the dream? When you're in the dream or when you come out of the dream? When you're in the dream, you're affected by the dream. Why the dream affects you when you're in the dream? You believe the dream to be real. Okay, what do you mean by the dream? When you're in the dream, you're affected by the dream. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by you're affected by the dream when you're in the dream? What do you mean by that?
Emotions.
Huh?
Emotions come up.
Yes. See the dream thinks. You see your child, right? When a pleasant feeling comes in you, right? When the earthquake comes in the dream, fear arises. The ghost comes, fear arises. Then somebody says, "Oh, the ghost disappears." You have happiness comes, right? You are all affected by every part of the dream affects you, right? Okay, so the point is, if you don't know that the dream is going to affect you. If the dream affects you, you have lost your control. So the dream decides whether you are affected or not affected. Dream decides, not you. So if you don't decide for yourself, if the dream decides for you, you don't have the freedom. This is loss of freedom. And the worst of the suffering is the loss of the freedom. Don't forget it. The worst of the suffering is loss of freedom. So therefore, enlightenment is referred to as the liberation. Liberation from the loss of the freedom. You getting it? Okay. So say, as long as you're in the dream, you are affected, you believe the dream to be real. As long as you believe the dream to be real, you are constantly affected by the dream. Affected by the dream means you don't have the freedom. The dream dictates your happiness or your suffering. If the dream dictates, you don't have the freedom. So lost you going through the loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is misery, suffering. You getting it? Okay. 11. Through misperception of emptiness, a person of little intelligence is ruined. Emptiness, how the lower schools interpret the Aranagarjuna's emptiness, how the lower schools interpret the Buddha's understanding of emptiness is what? How they interpreted it? Emptiness to mean nihilism. So therefore, the intelligence is less. They don't have the intelligence to appreciate the emptiness in the form of emptiness of objective existence. They cannot appreciate it. Right? They see the emptiness, the way the Buddha taught, the way Aranagarjuna taught, as nihilism. So that is how, through misperception of emptiness, a person of little intelligence is ruined. How ruined? They cannot account for the cause and effect. They cannot account for this phenomenon of ceasing and arising. Okay, so like a snake incorrectly seized. Okay, you see that snake charmers, they catch the snake very easily, right? And then you also like to catch a snake, right? Oh, the snake charmers, they do it very easily, right? You also do it, what happens? You're bitten, right? Like a snake incorrectly seized, or like a spell incorrectly cast. Spell incorrectly cast meaning, say you want to harm someone through magical powers. And if you don't know how to do it so properly, if you do it, oftentimes it can hit you back. This spell can hit you back. 12. For the reason that he knows this teaching, the emptiness of objective existence in its most refined form, for the reason that he knows, he referred to the Buddha, The Buddha knows this teaching to be difficult to fathom to the depth by the less intelligent. The Buddha's mind turned away from giving teachings. So Buddha, after achieving Buddhahood, Prince Siddhartha, after achieving Buddhahood, he remained silent for how many days? 49 days. 49 days he did not keep teaching on emptiness. And then the kings of the gods and goddesses, Indra, Brahma, through the clairvoyance, sensing that Prince Siddhartha has already achieved Buddhahood and meant to give teachings to the beings to liberate them from suffering, but he's not giving teachings. So they've been really concerned. They descended, made prostrations to Buddha, and made the request, please turn the wheel of Dharma, please give the teachings, start giving the teachings. Then the Buddha said, this is what the Buddha said. That in English translation, the path, the reality which I've discovered is so profound, is so peaceful, is devoid of elaborations. It is clear light. It's a non-composite. Such a nectar-like dharma, the reality, is what I've discovered. Finding that no one is there who can fathom this teaching, the depth of this teaching, or rather return to the words in silence. This is what the Buddha said. Then the Indra and Brahma, they made more requests to the Buddha by offering the wheel of Dharma, by offering the conch. So oftentimes we see that the conch and the wheel of Dharma are offered, for example, to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to request him to turn the wheel of Dharma to blow the sound of the conch of the Dharma. Okay, so this is what makes the Buddha remain silent for 49 days, to indicate that this teaching is very profound. Okay, 13. These refutations are not relevant to the advocates on emptiness. Your denigration of emptiness do not hold true for me. Okay, so all the refutations that you made, that you voice upon me, all the denigration that you made against the advocates of emptiness, saying that if everything is empty, then you cannot account for the food they are asking, ceasing, in which case you cannot account for the Four Noble Truths, in which case you can account for the Sangha members, the 8 Sangha members, without which you cannot account for the Dharma, the Buddha, the Three Jewels, then the Dharma, non-Dharma, and the conventionalities of the world. So all these, the contradictions that you try to voice against me, do not hold true. Hold true for the advocates of the emptiness of objective existence. Stanza 14. For one to whom emptiness is tenable, on the contrary, if you really understand emptiness so well, then on that basis you can account for all the functionalities of the world very smoothly. You can account for the functionality of the world very well. He says, stanza 14. For one to whom emptiness is tenable meaning feasible, emptiness to be accurate, to understand emptiness accurately, everything becomes tenable. For one to whom emptiness is not tenable, nothing becomes tenable. Okay, this is the summary Arjuna made. Then further explanation. Stanza 15. When you forced upon us, or when you put the blame on us, all of your errors, you are like a person who has mounted their horse and has forgotten that very horse. It's like, say, you have forgotten the, sometimes it happens, right? You put on the glasses and you're looking for your glasses. Right? You are on the horse and you forgot that you're on the horse. So which horse? Horse of errors, horse of contradictions. You're on the horse of contradiction yourself and you forgot that you're on the horse of contradiction. You say that you are the contradiction. Actually, you are on the horse of the contradictions. Okay. 15. When you force upon us all your errors, you are like a person who has mounted the horse and has forgotten the very horse. 16. If you perceive the existence of all things in terms of their self-nature means objective existence. If you, now Arjuna is going to really turn the table towards them and say that all the problems that you have, you have pointed to me, they are not my problem, it's actually your problem. So how? Stanza 16. If you perceive the existence of all things in terms of the self-nature, meaning in terms of objective existence, this existence of things you will have to view as absent of causes and conditions. If you say that everything exists objectively, you cannot account for the cause and effect. Okay. If you cannot account for cause and effect, then what happens? 17. effects and the causes. Okay, cause and the effect and causes is one set. Then the agent and action. Agent, say the benefactor as the agent and the act of benefiting, and the beneficiary. Benefactor, act of benefiting, the beneficiary. These three things, say the agent, benefactor, and the object, beneficiary, and the act which connects the two is act of benefiting. These three things are mutually dependent. They are not independently real. There's nothing really objectively real as which is more important. These three are mutually dependent. In the absence of the beneficiary, right? Even if you have so much wealth, you want to give, but then you will never become a benefactor. Benefactor means somebody should be there to receive your benefits. Then even if the beneficiary is there, but if the benefactor is not there, again, you are not a beneficiary, because beneficiary makes sense only if you receive the benefits. Even if the benefactor is there, somebody wants to give something, somebody wants to receive something, but if the act of benefiting is not happening, then you are not benefactor, other person is not beneficiary, because this act of benefiting is missing. Only if these three things are there, then these three things make sense. In the absence of one thing, all three makes no sense. So these three are mutually dependent.
What about the benefit itself?
Huh?
What about what you actually conceptually give the benefit?
So what I said, three things. Benefactor,
I understand, but those are the benefactor, the one that receives, and the action.
yes.
But something is moving from one to the other.
The gift.
The gift. Gift is not a gift if there is no the beneficiary.
Okay. How is this connected to the three?
Okay.
The three are.
You can make it 4 then.
Okay.
Then you can make it 5.
Okay.
Then you can also include the seller of the gift. And made in Israel. Right? In Israeli people.
No, I thought
And the
it was-
border. And then the neighboring countries. So the point is, the 3 things are there is good enough. You can make it 4 also. Gift, in some cases, gift is also included. You're right. In some cases, the gift is also included. So the gift, act of giving the gift, and the receiver of the gift, and the giver of the gift. Right? These 4 things, they're all mutually dependent. If the gift is not there, act of benefiting is not happening. So this is, how these 4 are mutually dependent. Very good. This is actually mentioned, I think, in the Acharya Chandrakirti's text, the gift itself, what is given. Yeah, very good, thank you. Okay, now the cause and effect is one. Agent and action. When agent action is said, the agent, action, and the object, right? All they are there. And then the conditions to aid the causes to give rise to the effect, conditions. Then the arising and ceasing is one set. With the arising, ceasing happens. And then finally effects. This effect and the effect in the first case, these 2 are slightly different. First effect is the cause effect in general. This effect is the effect in the form of the fruits of your virtues. For example, like the 4 fruits. So this effect is, the last one is in the context of the fruits of the virtues. For example, the enlightenment, Buddhahood, and so forth. Effects will be rendered impossible when the cause effect freezes meaning, if you believe in objective existence, then the cause effect makes no sense. Arising and ceasing makes no sense. If the arising and ceasing is not there, cause effect does not make sense. If the cause effect is not there, impermanence stops. Impermanence means change. Change happens only if there is a cause effect relationship. All impermanent phenomena stops. If the change stops, then the cause and effect, agent and action, then the conditions, then the arising and ceasing, and finally the effects or the fruits for which you are investing all your energy. For example, to achieve the stream entrance fruit, to achieve the once returner fruit, the normal returner fruit, then what? Nirvana, then the Buddhahood, right? All these fruits will become impossible. Stanza 18. Whatever is Leora?
Doesn't effect and causes cover all the other examples?
Yes, now it is to go into the details, right?
It's example.
The details, huh?
It's like an example of that. No?
Examples, and go into more detail. Because we see that these are things, for example, agent and action, right? Almost like all our actions are somehow, they are related to the agent and action. There's an agent and action. So this is something which is so immediate to our mind. Likewise, conditions, right? The conditions, again, is so immediate to our mind. Likewise, arising and ceasing, which is the governing principle of the whole universe. The principle which governs the whole universe. Arising and ceasing, arising and ceasing. Without these things, because nothing really makes sense. And then, without these things, then you putting effort to achieve the goal is not possible. For example, the younger ones, you go into the colleges and universities, expecting that you get a good job in the future as the result, right? So this will make no sense. 18. Whatever is dependent in reason, that is explained to be emptiness. Now, what exactly does it mean by emptiness? It is not nothingness. Emptiness of the objective existence does not mean nothingness. Objective existence and existence cannot be equated, right? The moment you equate these two things, you equate emptiness of objective existence and nothingness, you equate the two things. Whereas in actuality, understanding of emptiness according to Buddha is not nihilism. It is dependent origination. How? 5 points. What are the 5 points? The first one is emptiness. Number 2 is?
Emptiness is emptiness of independent.
Number 2, emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. Emptiness is short form of emptiness, independent existence, right? Then number 3,
Dependent.
emptiness, independent existence means everything exists. No, okay. don't be keen on the shortcuts, right? So first one is emptiness. Number 2, emptiness is short form of emptiness, independent existence. Emptiness, independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number 3. Number 4, nothing exists independent means everything exists by dependence. Number 4, everything exists by dependence means everything is dependently originated. You getting it? These are the 5 points through which we equate emptiness and dependent origination. So this is stanza 18. How we equate the two things, emptiness, dependent origination, with these 5 points is actually summarized in this stanza. Whatever is dependent on reason, that is explained to be emptiness. That being dependent on destination is itself the middle way. So the translation may differ from one translator to the other. Okay, so we'll stop here for tea break. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvaha. 3 persuasions.